Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Tech Uncensored. My name is Paul, and today we're going to be taking a look at Docker. So I decided to speed this up a little bit for you guys. There was a lot. So we're going to be creating in a development environment using Docker. Now, some of you might be using XAMPP or MAMP, or even like what I've done is created a virtual machine and working inside that virtual machine just so you can avoid some of the nuances that happen when you're trying to run LAMP, PHP, MySQL, and other services and processes inside of Windows or on Windows. It can be a problem, and I've just had enough with that. So in this episode, we're going to be taking a look at using Docker to create a container where you run Apache and PHP and MySQL inside that container, and it separates it away from the Windows operating system, allowing you to continue to edit and keep your files inside Windows, but being served from the container.
Care. I was just going to be like, yo, this is from the host computer. So that I want this to be bound to port 80, which I could probably do right here. Oh, but then there's no Docker. Oh, I can do that. Can I do that? It restarted. What's the name of that one? Eloquent Keller. Cool. Alright. So can I do it's not doing anything. I would, I'm just gonna cheat again and grab this address. So, which isn't gonna come, or is gonna come up. Okay, good. It's not good. It's cached. That's why it comes up sometimes, because it shouldn't come up, because what I did not do is I didn't start the service. Now, actually, yeah, so now we're actually listening, which means now, boom, 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 boom. Now I'm actually getting something. But what we want is we want it to actually, the whole point of this whole freaking thing here is we actually want to serve this, because what we're doing is this is stored locally on our desktop under projects, and I want to edit Visual Studio Code here on my browser, be able to preview it without having to go into a virtual virtual machine or anything like that. So what we need to do is we need to serve it out of this folder, which just means we need to change the Apache configuration. So let's go back into here. Alright, and that's going to probably be in...
Alright, we're going to speed this up here for a little bit. What essentially happened here was I went into the Apache configuration thinking that I would change where it's serving, the directory that it's serving out of to this new directory that I've created. I tried to use VI as my editor and kept getting buzzed at.
Change this. Okay, it doesn't like that either. How do you go into insert mode? Okay, apparently like that. Oh, what is doing?
I think there was something off with the key mappings, because that definitely should have worked, but I wasn't having that. So instead, I decided to do something a little bit differently. So what's going on here is, what I decided to do is, instead of editing the Apache configuration and telling it to serve out of a different directory, instead I removed public_HTML, the folder that it was serving, and replaced it with a system link that pointed public_HTML to the new directory that I created as /home/testing.
And it works! Oh! Just half expecting syslinks not to be enabled by default. But, so, what does this do now that I have it? So basically, everything's not running in the Docker container, and that's just running the server. And I got VS Code here, which is just open up projects, my website here, these are my files, yada yada, so on and so forth. VS Code can edit with whatever editor I will have on this computer. And I go in here and go, not dog, something different. Save that, open my browser, refresh, and those changes are there. And yeah, don't need like any random crappy things running on my computer, like XAMPP or MAMP or any of those things. You can run it straight through Docker and have the benefits of now, instead of having to go from the Windows command line and deal with all the nuances with like doing things from the Windows command line. Now I have an actual my environment is a Linux environment, and like don't have to deal with, so PHP is installed, don't have to deal with the shittiness of PHP on Windows, but I can still use my Windows machine to edit. I don't have to load it into a virtual machine and then have to log into that and deal with editing back and forth with that. The volume is mounted locally to my machine and it's pulling and serving the files from there. So it's like a really nice way to kind of containerize just the server into its own like environment. Yeah. That was pretty much the whole point of this thing. If anybody decided to actually tune in and watch, we finally got there. Just installing Vim right now, which is going to be so much nicer. Here we go. Pull CD back into my here. All right, we're going to clear this. I should be able to Vim my index. Boom. And life is so much better. If I... There's something, it must be the key with the mappings. It doesn't like my arrows. Which is interesting. Maybe that was the problem all along, but I can figure that out. Regardless, now I've got Vim. Makes me happy. Was there any comments? Anybody?
That's it. Hopefully you learned something. Had a great time messing around with Docker. Make sure you subscribe, follow us on Twitter. Let me know in the comments below if you messed around with Docker. How do you like it compared to a virtual machine? Have you set up your own local development environment using Docker? Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon. See ya.